Good morning, Carmini's RJ, back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 1977, one of the many variety of discs put out that year. Our friends at Michael Schechter Associates, where does it say that? MSA? Where did it say that? There it is, MSA right there. Michael Schechter and Associates, who were the company that made all these unlicensed products back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s. All the ones with the airbrushed logos came from that company, pretty much. Others as well, mostly from him. Anyway, this disc pattern was used in many products back in 1976 and 1977. This one obviously is from 1977, and obviously it is a Holiday Inn thing. So one of many, you'll see this design used all the time in different discs with different, sometimes just stars up here, sometimes the name of the company, and the back is usually where the big advertisement is. They can be pretty pricey for some of the more rare variants, but this is the Holiday Inn one from 1977 featuring Mr. Mike Schmidt. Today's random baseball item of the day. Just a little tchotchke like we all have up on our shelves as souvenirs or things to remember our favorite teams just because we're collectors. 1980, a world championship, basically a mug or a stein. I think somebody told me that a stein has a lid, and what was the other word? I'm thinking of a key. Oh gosh, there's another word I'm thinking for a beer holder, like not a mug, but there's a more fancy term for it. I'm blanking right now, but a stein had a lid. The other one did not, so I just call this a big mug. World champion Phillies on it. Phillies logo there. On the back had a simple description of what happened in the games. So, a little thing I keep on my shelf for my Mike Schmidt collection. Today's trivia question. Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter, his last no-hitter. Therefore, somebody made the last out of Nolan Ryan's last no-hitter. Oddly enough, it was a Hall of Famer. So what Hall of Fame member was the last out of Nolan Ryan's last no-hitter? Send me an email with that answer, what you're playing for, from 2020 Panini Chronicles Spectra, or it could be from Panini Chronicles, the Spectra Neon Blue Relic card of J.P. Crawford, numbered, right to this way, numbered 85 out of 99. So it's interesting. I was looking on the TradingCardsDatabase.com so I could correctly identify this card for you all. And there is another variant of Panini Chronicles Spectra Neon Blue called the Swatches variation, and it's also numbered to 99. The card looks exactly the same. Everything's exactly the same except the swatches down here. The Relic version has a square up here. The Swatches version has more of a rectangle down on the bottom. I don't know why, but that's it. That's what you're playing for. Just send me an email with the correct answer to the trivia question. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of the question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that question. So today, what I want to show off, I'm going to go back in history a little bit, show off a couple quick things, but also show you some historical facts. So I was thinking about this the other day and trying to figure out when was the first year ever that a manufacturer created a set of cards dedicated to a single player. So, for example, this is from Panini Diamond Kings in 2019. It's a very small set, so you might question whether this even qualifies. So, Diamond Kings is Joe Jackson collection, and this was an insert. This was not a full set of cards released like this. It was an insert into the Diamond Kings product. And this one here is just essentially a checklist card. It's not even a card of Joe Jackson. But the other 4 are. Show various images of Joe Jackson. In fact, that one's not even a checklist. There's only 3 cards, really, and then a checklist card. So you could question whether or not this even is a set of cards. First of all, it was an insert set. It wasn't released as a set. Secondly, there's only really 3 cards. Is it really a set, you know? Then you go on to something like this. So here is, I believe this is, what is the year of this one? I know I saw it somewhere. I'm going to pull it out to see it. Nolan Ryan Pacific Collection, 20 Years in Baseball, a Career Retrospective. I'm going to pop this open and show you some of the cards. What I love about this, which I think is the most funny, this was a send-in. You can get this through the Advil company. It was authorized by Nolan Ryan. Advil is a pain medication. Nolan Ryan was getting old. I bet he took a whole bunch of Advil in his day back then. This was from 1996, but this is, without a doubt, a full set. You know, there's 27 cards. I guess technically one for each of his years in the bigs. But there's 27 cards. Really cool looking too. Panini always with the crown motif and a lot of gold foil in their product. But it's a whole big thing on Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan also famously had a series of baseball cards kicked out dedicated to him. Basically, it was the Nolan Ryan collection, I think, also by Pacific. That happened in 1991, and they made a second or update set the following year. It is one of the least valuable sets ever made. The Nolan Ryan set from that year is just, it's just dirt cheap. Mostly because I guess nobody really liked it. It does have some amazing pictures of Nolan Ryan. I mean, you get to see Nolan Ryan. You can have a picture of Nolan Ryan on horseback if you want by buying that set from Pacific. So just something to consider. So there you have Joe Jackson and Nolan Ryan have sets. Obviously, one of the more famous ones, too. I'm sorry, I'm slowing down here. I'm trying to put this thing back in the box and it ain't cooperating with me. I'll just set it aside for a while. The Babe Ruth collection from Mega Cards came out in 1992. And there's over 200 cards in that set, I believe. But also, back in 2016, Leaf put out this set of Babe Ruth cards. It's just 100. One of the least valuable and most worthless card sets ever made, mostly because they airbrushed all the logos out. You used to be able to, if you remember, I remember when I first got back into card collecting, packs, because these came out in packs. That's what makes this one definitely a set, because it came out in packs. And the packs were given away. They were like giving these things away for free in all the breaks that I found. The Babe Ruth collection, the Leaf product back in 2016, those packs, I think it came with like 3 or 4 cards, and it was just, they're absolutely worthless. This whole set is probably worth like $5 maybe. But it is a set dedicated to Babe Ruth, as was the 1992 Mega Cards. But a lot of players, you were to think, how many different players have been included in sets dedicated just to them? Here's a small one of Cal Ripken, very small, 8 cards, given out, distributed probably at the stadium, sponsored by Burger King and Coca-Cola. I say probably given out at the stadium because it has the Orioles logo featured right there. 8 images of Cal. This is one. I mean, that's like an image of Cal that's ingrained in my memory. You see that kind of image of him turning the double play or just making a throw to first base or whatever. That's just indelible in my mind, that picture. So this is just a small set again of 8, but I have a couple other sets of Cal Ripken Jr. box sets containing about 50 or 60 cards. So Cal Ripken had a number of sets dedicated to him. Mostly these came out when he was retiring, okay? The Babe Ruth ones were just celebrating Babe Ruth, but that one came out when Cal was retiring. Similarly, Mark McGwire has a number of tribute sets that came out during his streak. So this is from 1999, right after the streak, from Upper Deck. And there's like 3 or 4 Upper Deck sets dedicated to him and Sosa at that time. Mark McGwire has had a couple, and these were dedicated directly to him, meaning, and they were released separately as a set. You know, the Babe Ruth one is one of the few ones that was actually released in packs. You know, this one actually came in packs. Most of the others were singular box sets, such as the 1992. I saw that somewhere. Yeah, right back here. 1992 Score Mickey Mantle set. Score also did a Joe DiMaggio set, Pinnacle Score. Also did a Joe DiMaggio set, but this is the Mickey Mantle box set from 1992. And then certainly Mickey Mantle had insert sets in 1996's Topps. They reprinted all of his cards. They did the same thing with Willie Mays a couple of years later, and I think also with Hank Aaron, where they reprinted all, but that's, again, going back to the insert set. So what I started doing is I started investigating what was the first year ever that a card company or that a manufacturer created a card set, a full set dedicated, you know, not an insert into something else, not a one-off promo like there's a famous card the Philly fans know of Richie Ashburn, Upper Deck did when Richie died. It's a card number 1. Well, Richie was card number 1, but it's not part of any set. It's a singular standalone card honoring Richie Ashburn's life. And there's been a number of cards made over the years that honored one player with one card. There have been a number of cards that were promo cards that, you know, hey, this person's going to be appearing at this event today. Here's a card to remind you, or an advertising card or something like that. But what was the first year that somebody created a set of cards dedicated to one player? Now, I'm going to define my terms, and I'm going to break away and get on the tradingcarddatabase.com with you because I've already done the research, and I want to show you what I found. One of the things I will tell you is we famously all know of the Fleer Ted Williams set. Now, you might think that was one of the earliest, and it certainly was, but it wasn't the first. What made that one special is it was dedicated just to Ted Williams. It was available in packs, so it clearly is what I'm talking about, a set of cards dedicated to one player, released specifically to honor that one player, not released to sell gum or something like that. No, I mean, it probably came with gum, let's be honest. But really, it was more to honor that one player. It might have promoted a product, but more than anything, people wanted to have it to collect that player. So, I'm going to break away for a second here. We're going to talk more about some of the other early sets because I'm going to go on the tradingcarddatabase.com. So, give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm not sure how well this will translate from computer to how well this will translate from computer to phone screen, but let's give it a shot. So, in talking about complete sets dedicated to individuals, I do have to concede that one of the main releases over the past, back in the junk wax era, was the Star Company. The Star Company obviously put out sets from anywhere from like I don't know, 6 to 15 cards, each one dedicated to one player or group of players. So there are hundreds of those kind of sets for all sports, actually, from Star. In addition, recently I personally been showing off a product from a company called Front Row, where they did little 5-card sets of Hall of Famers and classic baseball stars in the early 90s. So there are a lot of those little one-offs. So when I say sets, I am referring to, 5 cards or more. So all of those would qualify. But I'm looking for more of along the lines of, highly impactful sets. I'm going to show a whole bunch of them here through the tradingcarddatabase.com. Some are impactful, some are not. Some are just interesting. So let's start with one of the ones I was just talking about. So 1992 Mega Cards Babe Ruth. 165 cards. It is a fantastic set if you want to buy it. Very inexpensive. You could probably have it for less than 20 bucks. And it gives you Babe's entire history. I mean, just a plethora of information about Babe. It's like reading a book, but in trading card format, which is something I think is a lot of fun. So I'm not even going to bother going through any of these sets. I'm just trying to point out that they exist. Now, you would think 165 cards dedicated to one player, available in packs and set format, would probably be the biggest effort undertaken by a card company dedicated to one person. I believe you would be wrong. In 1991, I made mention to the fact that Pacific released the Ryan Express card set, and it was 110 cards in these weird-looking foil packs. You can still get them in boxes. I mean, boxes of Nolan Ryan Series 1 are easy to come by. 10 bucks. The whole set is worth nothing. 5 bucks for the whole set, if you're lucky. It's got some awesome images. I want to see if I can't show it. Maybe I'll take a moment to show you one of the ones I love. I've shown them before, but Ryan on the horseback is just boggles the mind when you see it, you know, because he's like at the ranch in his home or something like that. I don't know exactly what they were thinking, but it's just funny to see. Here he is. There you go. Herding cattle. Nolan Ryan. Absolutely. You know, where's that other one? Where's that other one I just saw? The other one I just saw was with him with his. He was standing next to his horse. I don't know why I'm not seeing it now. Was it only on the second page? Oh, it was, yeah. There's Nolan Ryan next to his horse. Let me zoom in on this one for you guys. Look at that, Nolan Ryan hanging out with his horse. So you can have a Nolan Ryan horse card if you really want it. Just saying. Nolan Ryan cowboy, look at that. There we go. It's a fantastic little set. I mean, if you're a Nolan Ryan fan, obviously you're going to have it. But the two sets together from Series 1 and Series 2 total 220 cards. I believe that to be far and away the largest set of cards ever issued dedicated to a single individual. So that's just a little bit of history there for you. Obviously, the 59 Fleer Ted Williams is probably the most well-known card set dedicated to a single individual, as I understand it. And there have been more experts out there than me about this card set. And I believe one of the statements was that he couldn't come to an agreement with the Topps company, so he chose not to do anything. Or maybe, I think the Fleer company maybe gave him more money. And Ted did have a bit of an ego. So the concept of having his own card set dedicated directly to him probably was an appealing thing. So he went with it. Everybody's familiar with this set. Many of you probably have some of the key cards. Some of you probably have the whole set, but that's just another one. Now, after that, going back in time, you're going to find a lot of oddities, a lot of things that I didn't even know existed, but makes sense. So here we go. 1955 Rawlings put out a Stan Musial 6-card. I say 6 cards because there's 2 variations. It's a 4-card set. It just has pictures of Stan Musial. I'm assuming because this is Rawlings, it might have come attached to when you purchased a piece of sporting equipment. And that's where this card came from. And there are 6 cards. Some of them are variations of previous cards. But my guess is that is where they came from. They're all blank backed. So there are 6 cards in this quote-unquote set, but I'm not sure if it really is a set versus a premium or a promo. But that is 1955 Rawlings, Stan Musial. Here's an interesting one. 1939 Mobile Booklets, Jack Coombs. Pretty sure this came out during the World Series time because a lot of what Jack's talking about is thing. Now, I can't see inside the booklet. all you have here is an image of the front of the booklet, talks about who Jack Coombs is, and then on the back is an advertisement in a coupon kind of thing. Win a trip to the World Series. So anyway, it talked about who is Jack Coombs, and inside each of these was information on baseball, points on batting, right there, base running. Let me go back. I'm a little too close for y'all. I forgot to go back. Pitching. Now, Jack Coombs was a pitcher by trade, infield strategy, and fielding. So there are 6 of these little booklets. Is this a set? I don't know. It was clearly done as all cards are typically today. So today cards are done simply to be cards. They're not to promote a product. The cards are the product today. But in the past, they were primarily issued to promote a product. So this is, but again, these companies sometimes, every once in a while, made tons of a subject. The 59 Fleer, I think, was probably provided in a pack of gum, and the gum was the product, but people were really collecting for the cards. So here you got Coombs issuing, probably ghost written, he just lended his name to it, booklets issued by the Mobil gas company, oil company. So 1939 Mobil booklets, Jack Coombs. 1936 National Chicle, Rabbit Moranville How To. These are barely cards. I don't know how they were issued, but there's 20 of them. So this to me is its own little set, but it's not really a set of cards featuring Jack Rabbit Moranville, because how to pitch the shutout, the outshoot by Rabbit Moranville. And that one didn't come in. What is that all about? I'm not getting every. What is going on? I'm losing my pictures. What is going on there? Here we go. How to shoot the out pitch. Oh, seriously? Some of them just aren't going to load. But it's a series of these little how-to. This is annoying me now. I was getting this fine a second ago. It's a series of those kind of little things. Let me do it this way. Let me zoom in a bit for you. Let me go in 5 times. Slide over. Series of these little how-to things. How to bat, how to steal, how to do everything. And again, there are a total of 20. And they all have, on the back, a little discussion and a small little picture of Rabbit Moranville at the bottom. I wish I could show you the back of a card, but every one of them now, every one is failing to load on me. I don't understand that at all. That kind of ticks me off. Let me go to this way. I got to verify it's me. What is going on here? There it is. So everyone on the back had this little image of Rabbit Moranville. That's all. That's the only thing it had that lent itself to Rabbit Moranville. Is this a set? I think so. Was it issued in packs or whatever? I really don't know. I believe National Chicle was a gum company, so probably it is, like everything else, a pack of gum. Just interesting. That was another one. Then you get back, the earliest ones I could find were Babe Ruth. So this one surprised me. Here's a Babe Ruth issue. It literally says, from 1928, the George Ruth Candy Company. That's what I said. Take a look at this. This is George Herman Babe Ruth, in a Los Angeles Angels uniform. I guess he was barnstorming or something. When you have the complete set of 6 pictures, send them to the George H. Ruth Candy Company in Cleveland, Ohio, and you will receive a baseball with Babe Ruth's genuine signature on it free of charge. So, let me zoom in so you can see that. It literally seems, I did not know that apparently Babe Ruth sponsored a candy company or owned a candy company. Again, probably just lent his name to the company, got a little stipend, and they tried to profit off of his name and image to sell more candy in Cleveland. But they put out a 6-card set. I'll go through each picture. One of the things I love, let me go, this is a great, okay, so Babe Ruth knocked out 60 home runs in 1927. His candy helped him. That's right. Let me go to this card. Let me show you. Right down here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this one. Oh, you can see it already. Knocked out 60 home runs in 1927. His candy helped him. I love it. I love that. That's the kind of thing you always got back in the day with advertisements. Yes, Lucky Strike cigarettes, they make you healthy. I mean, the ridiculousness of it today, we can laugh at, but back then, what were they thinking? But there were 6 images of Ruth. Let me zoom in again. Always with the kitties. I'm not sure if that's his wife. I guess it is. She's grabbing onto his arm or something. So probably with his wife. This one, I hope that's his daughter, because he's smooching her on the lips, this little girl. And then here he is, like we all see him signing for fans. So that was almost the earliest one I found. The only other earlier one I found containing at least 5 cards is another Babe Ruth set, 1927 to 28, FroJoy Champion Series Babe Ruth. This was obviously the FroJoy Ice Cream Company. And let me get a good picture here. So let me slide over for you here. All right. So, yeah, chock full of youth units. Boys and girls, the FroJoy ice cream and FroJoy cones builds bone and strength. Eat one every day. Chock full of youth units. The crazy advertising they were permitted to get away with back then is amazing to me. Eat this sugary cereal. It's good for your teeth. It's crazy. Here he is down here. Look at the little bio. I'm going to zoom in even closer. The Sultan of SWAT, who holds the world record for home runs hit in a single season with 60 circuit clouts during the regular playing season of 1927. Topped by 2 more against Pittsburgh during the World Series games last year. So, that is the FroJoy Baseball Ruth set. Is in fact the earliest one I could find, what I would say dedicated to a single player that is a set of cards. FroJoy made those 6 cards simply of Ruth. It makes sense that Ruth was the main guy. There are hundreds of one-off premiums of Babe Ruth. There are hundreds of one-off advertising pieces of Babe Ruth. And he had, no less than, 2 major card releases in modern times. The 1992 one I showed, or I talked about earlier, and then the 2016 one I showed earlier. I have both of those sets in my collection. I just find it interesting. I hope you enjoyed that, because I find it interesting to see who baseball card manufacturers felt worthy to include as star players in multiple cards dedicated unto themselves. Rabbit Moranville and Jack Coombs surprised me. Most of the other guys, you can see why they would do that. You might even say to yourself, well, why wasn't this guy ever part of a big set, but I'll never know what card companies are thinking. I don't think you will either. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed that little trip around baseball history and card companies making sets dedicated to individual players. If you like that, please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody in this great card meeting. All right. Have a great week. Come back for more trivia and prizes on Wednesday and Friday, and I'll see you soon. Take care.